Cameron Scriven saying Caden Cottier collab. They're the Cottier brothers. Muscleheads. Pair of scousers who are just dedicated to the training, aren't they? I got a message off one of them actually last week. Buzzing off me. I put a video out there, right, on this platform yesterday with a 1 kilogram dumbbell, expecting people to laugh at it.
You already know that artificial intelligence is where it's at.
I'm expecting people to have a little giggle off it. They're all taking it serious. Wow, look at your biceps. Wow, how'd you do that girl like that? I'm thinking, and then you'll have a smart ass kicking in. 1 key dumbbell curls. Like he's buzzing off me. I've done the whole fucking video to be buzzed off. Everyone's treating me seriously, liking it, making comments. I think, what the fuck? Is this how you smash it in the fucking gym area? I've been posting gym videos all my fucking life. Box ones. Big heavyweights. Throwing them all over the gaff. Got 2 fucking views. I do a video taking a piss about me fucking bicep curl, and the views have gone through the fucking roof. So I know what to do next time. Take the piss. I'll do a bench press with the 5s on the Olympic bar like it's fucking solid and get fucking viral off it. Whereas if he had 220 on it, people go, oh, he's strong. And they wouldn't even like it. Honest. But they're heavy, them 2 Cottier brothers, lad. They're good kids, them 2. They messaged me the other day, and he was winding me up. I think he was having a joke, basically. I think he thinks I'm on steroids. This is what I think. People see my shape and automatically think, he's on the fucking steroids in. That shape on the recent videos, that's me after training every day for 2.5 weeks. I haven't trained properly for fucking months and months and months, mate. What you see in there is 2.5 weeks every day training. If I keep it up, the way you've got a little bit of fat around me lower abs and that disappears. If I keep consistent every day, give it another month or 2, you'll see exactly what my body's like. That's fucking nothing. Got loads of people praising, you're ripped, you're ripped. I look like shit on them videos, mate. I look like shit now. Do you want to see me now? So this is me now, and I look like shit.
And make great income. Then I invite you to check out our free training where I'm going to teach you the 3 ways to generate revenue with AI. What you've got to do is just click on that link and get registered. Again,
and that's me looking like shit. That's me, underfed, underslept, all that. That's what I'm looking like now, and I'm only 2.5 weeks in.
You're going to thank yourself for actually
no steroids, ever. No protein shakes, ever.
We're certainly not perfect, but
well, not in the last couple of years.
About your success. So with that said, my name is Matt Lyons.
What you'll see soon. You see that little thing here? That'll disappear and that'll be abs. And this is me looking like shit, feeling like shit. Do you understand? I know what I'm capable of when I keep my training up. What stops me from training? Overtraining. I stop training because I start overtraining. I don't stop because I know I'm hurting myself over the overtraining. I stop because I'm exhausted due to the overtraining. That makes sense to you? So I always tell you, don't I, like, people scream, the gym helps your mental health, the gym helps you. It doesn't. It helps you manage your mental health. It doesn't help the mental health. It helps you manage the mental health. And this is what you need to start getting onto. Why? Because if you're like me, and every time you get angry, and every time you're fuming, and every time you're depressed, and every time you're fucking feeling like in a mess, you go to the gym. You go to the gym, isn't it? So if you start using the gym as a way of dealing with your mental health, it's a different process of you going to the gym to help you handle your mental health. Your gym will help you handle your mental health a lot better. It won't deal with it. So for example, look, when I'm in prison, I'm getting banned from using this gym. Not by the PEIs, not by the screws, by the doctor. Why? The doctor's telling me I'm self-harming through training. So he'd give me a 6-week ban. Why? Because when I start overtraining, I train till I'm sick. So what I've done, where I've been dealing with the gym to deal with my mental health, instead of knowing I'm using the gym to help me handle my mental health. Because I'm using the gym to deal with my mental health, I'm going in the gym and training like a fucking animal every time my head's going. And because the pressure I'm under and whatever I'm going through, my head's going more, so I'm going to the gym more. Now I'm overtraining. Do you understand? Now I'm overtraining. I'm going to the gym too much. I'm sweating too much. Because of all this, it's now affecting me sleep. Because my sleep's fucking up, it's affecting my appetite. Now, the two main important things for me as a mental health person, the most important things is sleep and food. Your overtraining fucks that up on you, makes your mental health go off its fucking barney. Trust me on that. Gym's good for you so you can handle your mental health. Gym is not good to deal with your mental health. Because you'd end up there where I was. If you're using your mental health to deal with, if you're using the gym to deal with your mental health, you'll end up where I was. Hating yourself. Some of you won't really grasp what I'm fucking saying, so I'm sick of explaining myself to you all. So training is good, but it's not the answer. Alright? If you do too much training while you're fucked off your mental health, you're harming yourself. You're fucking up your sleep, you're fucking up your appetite. Once them two things are fucked, your mental health deteriorates. When you start neglecting, nice one Jody, when you start neglect, look, you ask anyone who knows about training and they will tell you, when you start overtraining, your sleep fucks up, your appetite fucks up, you're angry, you're frustrated, everything starts going wrong on you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
It just gets what I'm into.
Whereas if you just balanced it,
Interesting.
it'll benefit you massively. But because you're using it as the tool to deal with your mental health, it's damaging you, it's not helping you. Just be strong with that. Balance is key, that's what it is. Moderation. Yes, Justin. Do you have ADHD, Darren? I'm not diagnosed, mate. How often you train? Depends what my mental health lets me do it, mate. The last 2 weeks, like I'd train in the morning, go on my fucking bike ride all day, and then before I get off, jump in the gym again. what I was doing all last week. So twice a day I was training last week. One session intense, the other one just a coaster. Walking is enough. I know, but even then, I went through that shit. Again, walking doesn't fix nothing. Just makes you walk and walk and walk and walk for hours. Makes you more lost. Honest, trust me on that. I've done it. I've watched my brother do it before he killed himself. He'd go for a walk around a block. A year later, he's walking for hours and hours. Where's Billy? Where have you been? Been on a walk? Where'd you go? Just went missing, was 6 hour walking. To nowhere. Walking to nowhere. I've always thought that we should be walking to somewhere from the get-go. Know what I mean? If we didn't have cars and shit now, if we didn't have all these transport links and all that, you would be walking to somewhere, you know, like a destination that we all should be going to. So you know when you see animals, and at a certain time of year they'll all flock to that part of the world and all sit there for a month all and then come back around the world again after it's finished. All animals do it, why don't we? You understand what I mean? Where should we be going? Where should we be going? We shouldn't be just being born and then sitting here in this block. We should be on a lifelong journey to somewhere else. I'm convinced to be behind that ice wall, you know. Honest. Defo. I reckon the majority of the water that we come across in this land has been put there deliberately by man to hide whatever's under it. You know when we hear of these big things where they're finding treasure in the sea and they tell us, oh, it fell off the fucking big Spanish boat and it landed on the bottom of the sea? Fuck off. You've got fucking cities under that sea, mate. Big state-of-the-art fucking things. Honest to God, lads, Effo. Think about it, mate. Just have a little think outside the box for a second, lad. Most of that water is man-made water and it's been put there to hide shit. So look, you see all these big seas we've got. If there was no water, it'd be desert. If there was no water where you see water, it'd be desert. It'd be sand. It'd be land, mud. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if it's land and all that beforehand, obviously the water's being put on top of it, hasn't it? Just think about it, mate. Yeah, you got Danny saying the canyons. Was that in America? And no one is allowed to go there. You'll get shot dead if you go near there. Why? Area 51. What's all that about? Snakes Pass in this country. Do you know where Snakes Pass is? Do you know what's under them mountains? I'm fucking telling you now, mate. I used to work in Halifax and South Yorkshire, and my route from Blackburn to work and from work would be the Snakes Pass. Big fucking road, dead high up in the fucking mountains. Cuts you right through all madness and takes you out the other end. Some nights when we were coming back home, you'd have signs in the middle of the road. There's no lights around this Snake's Pass. There's no big fucking lights on the country lanes. It's pitch black. And every so often, we'd end up with a sign on the road closed. But because we were workies and we little game kids, we'd go round it and screech down the road on our journey, and there'd be fucking nothing wrong with the road. And we'd come the next day to take the same route, it'd still be shut. And it'd be shut for 4 or 5 days with no one using the road. One week we're coming back, road's closed. Only this time you've got a trail of lights going through the mountain. 3 or 4 cars in tandem. And then just disappear into the mountain. Not lying, mate. Honest to God. And what they've got in the side of the mountain is like this fucking big concrete sort of fucking... This big concrete, and it looks like a maintenance door, and you'll have people that look like maintenance workers going in there. Trust me, mate, it's like a whole different fucking world behind that door. When you go to Yorkshire and you're going on the Snake's Pass, you have got big, massive fucking mountains. Within them mountains, there's something going on. And I don't mean in the forest on the mountain. I mean in the mountain. Honest to God. No, I'm not lying. I'm not just inventing this. Seeing it with my own eyes. And the people I was working with, you know, their dads, you know, these Yorkshiremen, I'm working with them like 40, but their dads were working in the same areas when they were fucking alive, and their granddads were alive. And there's rumour has it, and I believe it. I believe it. That place where I'm on about in Snake's Pass, rumour has it that it's got a tunnel direct from Buckingham Palace. And if it goes off there, you get in the tube under it and right to there, Snake's Pass Mountain. And under there is like a bunker. Not lying, lad. Obviously, I can't confirm it. It's all far-fetched thinking, innit? Loads of users thinking, fucking hell, that's a bit far-fetched. Because it is. It's hard to grasp. You can't really grab it and think about it, can you? But, you know, without, there's no thought without idea, if you get what I'm saying. So, for example, if I wouldn't have seen them cars going into there, and if I wouldn't have been told that there's a rumour where there's a tunnel from Buckingham to this place, well then I wouldn't have the idea about it. The thought wouldn't be there, would it? The fact that I've seen it, bang, you start thinking about it because you've seen it. Why the fuck are they going in that mountain? And then you start fucking looking at everything. Doesn't seem right, why are they in there? Yes, Leah, Adam. This time there's no one to save me. There's no one to save you, mate. Only you can save yourself. Only you can make you live long. Only you can make the right choices in your life. No one else will make the right choice for you. You let people make choices about you in your life, your life's always going to be wrong. Gavin, happy-go-lucky, Connor. So there's things, yes mate, coming to see you, member. There's things in this country like hidden cities. Think about it. Do you think Windsor Castle hasn't got a tunnel? Do you think Windsor Castle hasn't got a tunnel? Of course it has. Where does it go? Buckingham Palace. Do you think that's got a tunnel? course it has. Where does it go? If this country goes to war and you've got loads of French soldiers bursting Windsor Castle, do you think he's locked in a room for them to get him? Or do you think he's got an escape plan? Do you think they've got an escape plan, don't you? So they've got a tunnel where they can just go and bail so they can't get captured or whatever. It's like the Americans, the White House. You know, they've got a fucking big city under the White House. Massive city that they've been building for hundreds of years. Right under the White House. So if shit hits the fan in America, you can just go whisked off, protected. Big bomb reinforced bunker with about fucking 200 families living in it, with everything they need. What families? The ones, the power bases. So look, say our country got invaded now, yeah, we'd have to run to the railway arches. Why? So you couldn't get bombed by the planes and shit. You'd go to the railway tunnels and shit, you understand? They would get put into state-of-the-art cities that can accommodate everything you need in a little city. He'll have 3 or 4 years worth of food in a storeroom down there. 3 or 4 years worth of drink, medicine, naps, all this shit. Stocked to the brim in a little gaff somewhere. Who for? The rich and famous. For the billionaires. The rich have been building mega bunkers. Why is that, we wonder? You know where you hear the things where there's like layers of civilizations? Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard it? Because I've heard that, I've thought, so what, this is what I've heard. Below us, you've got other civilizations. You've got civilizations that can live without the sun. Underneath us. Obviously not a 6 foot or 12 foot, but like 100 foot down, you've got other civilizations working, living, everything's running the way it should do. You have, you know, that's what they reckon. Why is that hard to think of? For? Why do you think it couldn't be so? It's far-fetched thinking, but it makes sense. It can make sense. You know, when you've been in this country and you've been in big fucking like architecture. So for example, if you go into Liverpool, right, you've got the Paddy's Cathedral, big massive Catholic cathedral, big dome-like thing. You see underneath that cathedral, you have got, how can I explain it? It's like a marble Buckingham Palace without the gates and the roof on it. Why? Because the roof of it is the museum floor. Underneath, you've got when you go downstairs and you go in the museum, where the stairs start, that's half of what's underneath it. So if you get in front of that cathedral, right, you stand in front of it, you'll have the pavement, and then you'll have stairs leading up, and the height of them stairs going up to the cathedral is about 80 foot high. So when you go up the stairs, when you stood at the top of the stairs, you're about 80 foot from the curb in height. All that is filled with marble when you look in. I'm talking like poles, what you'd normally see under a fucking flyover in your city. Marble. Massive. About 300 foot high. Bigger than your bathroom wide. Marble poles keeping all this fucking thing up. This is all underneath the city of Liverpool. This is just underneath the cathedral. I was shocked, mate, when I went in there. You can go down, they don't really let you in there, they do these events where every so often you're able to get down. And I've gone down and I'm telling you, it's like 4 football pitches long. I'm not lying, mate. 4 football pitches long. The walls are raw rock, but then everything else is marble. Boss down there. But the point I'm making is, when you're down there, it's stuck at a certain temperature. It never gets too hot and it never gets too cold. It's perfect for human capacity. Do you understand what I mean? You would be able to breathe 10 times better living underground than what you would do living here on top of ground. Why? Because you've got no pollutions. You've got no smoke. You've got no fucking shit getting on your chest through the airwaves and nothing. Why? It's not happening down here, none of that. I've been thinking about this for ages, so I was thinking, okay then, so if there is something underneath us, how would they stop the water dropping right down every time it rains? And I thought about the canal system. I thought about the canal system. I think there's more to the canal system than what we've been told. I'm not convinced that them canal systems are splattered up and down the country, connected so you can get from one end to the other just for fucking barges. Nah. No. Defo no. Yes, I am. But this is me again, just far-fetched thinking. You know, questioning everything that these cunts put in front of you. You've got to. You don't take nothing there telling you the way this world works as fact. That school system wants you believing something you shouldn't be. Do you understand? Yes, Claire. There was a whole civilization before us. This is what I'm saying. They got buried, didn't they? You know when you see like the terracotta army, no China, where they've dug loads of 100 foot down and come across these big statues of soldiers, warriors from back in the day. They call it the terracotta army. The Chinese firmly believe that that army is going to re-wake. The Chinese firmly believe that the terracotta army is going to reappear down the line. You know, just crack, come back to life. It's mad, isn't it? We think we know all sorts, we haven't got a fucking clue, you know. The Great Flood covered everything in mud, says Kerry Hughes. The Great Flood. Well, alright, let's look at the Great Flood. Was that a natural disaster? Or did someone do it deliberately? I'm telling you, lad, it's fucked. I reckon if you removed the Mersey, all the water in the Mersey, you'd be looking at a city. I'm convinced. I said it the other month, didn't I? If you know where the River Mersey is in Liverpool, right? If you were on a ferry in the middle of the Mersey, looking at Liverpool, what you'd see in front of you before anything is a massive fucking wall and bars on top of it. And if you're on it that side, you'd be looking out to the Mersey, standing on the bars. But if you're this side looking at it, and the water wasn't there, you would see a gigantic fucking wall. Massive wall. Huge. Right along the front of Liverpool, you have got a massive fucking wall. And on the same wall, you've got massive fucking gates. Liverpool is an empire. It's a walled empire, Liverpool. We just don't know it. Why? Because it's surrounded by water. Telling you, man, it's always puzzled me how they've managed to do the Birkenhead tunnel with that much water above it. Has it never puzzled you? How have they done Birkenhead tunnel with the Mersey water above it? Exactly. The tunnel was done before the water was there, weren't it? Weren't it? There's no way you're making a tunnel like that if there's all that water above it. That's why they're not making tunnels to all... Yeah, you got the Channel Tunnel, but look how long that took them to do. Trust me, man, I'm telling you, there's no way they built that Birkenhead tunnel with that much water above it. It's too heavy. Too much suction going on there. One little hole. So that's telling me there was no water there when that tunnel was made. But then you've got to ask yourself, well, okay then, so why are we making a tunnel? So what the fuck are you making a tunnel for if there was no water there? There's a whole different fucking world underneath our feet, you know. Defo. We've been lied to badly, us like. Badly, mate. So just think about what I'm saying there, right? If you took the water out the Mersey and stood in the centre of it and looked back at Liverpool, what you'd be looking at is something like a prison wall with big double gates splattered at periods across it. Does it not make sense to you now? Can you not understand where I'm coming from with that shout? Just vision yourself a minute, right? Do you know what Liverpool looks like? I reckon you can say this about most places. Most places where you've got something like the River Mersey. You've got big cities with big walls containing the water. But them big walls used to contain us. Do you understand what I mean? So you remember years ago when you used to watch all them big Greek films and you'd have the big powerful people up here and then you'd have all the paupers with the market stalls down here. You'd have the big walls there and then in the middle of all that you'd have all the games and all the fucking paupers and all the markers. So if you look at Birkenhead, if you look across from the pier from Liverpool to Birkenhead, you'll see that big fucking building, won't you? We call them council buildings and shit, don't we? But the point I'm making is, if you were stood in the Mersey looking at Birkenhead and there was no water there, what you'd be looking at is a gigantic perimeter fucking wall protecting a big fucking mansion. If you turn round in the middle of the River Mersey with no water in it and you looked at Liverpool, what the fuck are you seeing there? A massive perimeter wall with some huge architecture with birds on the roofs and shit. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? I'm fucking telling you, mate, you're looking at a gated community or something. You're looking at a fucking big perimeter wall. You think the wall is stopping the water flooding Liverpool? In reality, that water shouldn't be there, and that wall goes round Liverpool, and whoever owned Liverpool back in the day had all us, or the market traders, where the water is. So you had all the rich cunts here, all the rich cunts that side, Birkenhead, Liverpool, perimeter wall, big gates protecting them. We think the gates are to let boats in. They're just being reused. When you're going down the Albert Dock and you see them big black gates that can open and let boats come in, remove that water. What was the gates for? What was the gates for? Them gates don't go underwater 4 foot and then get cut off. Do you understand what I mean? You know in the Albert Dock, right? If you walk through along the Albert Dock around the waterfront, what you'll come across is this building. And this big building will have the mechanical works in it to open them big black gates. And we automatically think that this was all designed for boats. Don't we? Because there's water there and there's boats there. So we automatically think it's always been to do with boats. If you just remove the water, them big massive fucking gates would be letting horses and carriages in. Would be letting big fucking carriages of all sorts of food and shit into Liverpool. Honestly, I think it's a valid fucking point what I'm making there. Honestly, and the more I think about it, the more it just makes fucking sense, mate. Telling you now. Can you get a picture of Liverpool without the Mersey? Let me just see if there's such a thing. Obviously, they're not going to let us know. It's their system, innit? Oh, let's Google search it. They tell you what you want to know on Google as well. What you're allowed to know, they will let you know. What you're not, you won't get to know. So what I've done is Liverpool Mersey created. So let's see when it came. Let's see when it first came. The River Mersey, which flows past Liverpool, is formed by the confluence of the rivers Tame and Goyt in Stockport, Greater Manchester. While a modern definition places the start of the Mersey at this junction, some older maps and definitions suggest it begins further up the River Goyt. The Mersey then flows westward, eventually emptying into Liverpool Bay and the Irish Sea. Eventually emptying into Liverpool Bay. Emptying. Some older maps and definitions suggest it begins further up the River Goyt. The Mersey then flows westward, eventually emptying into Liverpool Bay. So where the fuck's Liverpool Bay? Is that the Mersey? Where's Liverpool Bay? Does anyone know? Here's more detailed breakdown. The River Mersey is formed by the joining of the River Ethro, River Goyt and the River Tame. The most common starting point for the Mersey is at the point where the Tame and the Goyt meet in the central of Stockport. Older definition. Some historical sources like the 1911 Encyclopedia Britannica place the start of the Mersey where the Goyt and Ethro join a bit further upstream. Doesn't really tell us nothing. The Mersey has been a vital waterway for centuries, playing a key role in the development of Liverpool and its surrounding areas. So it doesn't even tell you much. Yeah, look. How old is the River Mersey and Liverpool? Let's see. The Mersey has an ancient connection traced back to the origins, and you'll discover that the River Mersey was a life source for the nomads dating back to 7,000 years. Its name potentially derived from the Celtic term meaning boundary, signifies its historical importance as a delineation between tribal territories. Wow. So the Mersey can be linked to the nomads 7,000 years ago. Why is the Mersey brown? It's because it's covered in shit, mate. See what it says? People still think by looking at the river that it's a dirty stretch of water, but the brown colour, the brown colour is the silt on the seabed being stirred up by the fast flowing tide, causing a so-called muddy appearance. Fuck off. It's the shit you're pumping in there from all over the fucking gaff. What did the Romans call the River Mersey? The Mersey was possibly the border river between Mercia and Northumbria. Its Welsh name is Afon Merswa. Prior to Anglo-Saxon conquest of the region, the river was almost certainly known by a Celtic name, recorded by Peter Longley as Satia. So the Mersey, Anglo-Saxon's name, is called Seteia. As the southern border of the Brittonic Setanti tribe. Who the fuck are all these tribes? Where did these come from? What is under the River Mersey? Let's see what it says. The Mersey tunnels connect the city of Liverpool with Wirral. Under the River Mersey there are 3 tunnels. The Mersey Railway Tunnel opened in 1886, and 2 road tunnels, the Queensway Tunnel opened in 1934, and the Kingsway Tunnel opened in 1971. Why? Why open 2 new tunnels when you've got one? Under the River Mersey there are 3 tunnels. The Mersey Railway Tunnel opened in 1886. So there was no water there in 1886 then? Let's just see. 1886. It's fucking mad, isn't it? Where was the 3rd one? A railway tunnel? Yeah. Obviously, because you can get the train, can't you? From there to Birkenhead, can't you? So there's that train tunnel. That's always been there. That's been there since 1886. Fucking hell, mate. Yeah, 1886, like that. Hang on, 1886. Isn't that a date on something? 1886. Is that a date on something important for Liverpool, that or something? What date's that? What are the football club dates? How are you, boo? 1886. Why is that ringing a bell? 1886. Does it sound something like... Have you heard that before? Good, boo. Michael saying football. Is that when football started? 1886. Let's just ask a question here. not really telling me nothing. It's not, won't give me, what I'll just come back up with is what happened in Liverpool in the 1930s. It's not going near the 1800s, lad. Oh yeah. The International Exhibition of Navigation, Commerce and Industry in Liverpool, England was opened by Queen Victoria on the 11th of May 1886. Well, where the fuck's that? See where that is? The fair was held in Antwerp's exhibition hall, which was transported for the exhibition and erected alongside Wavertree Botanic Park. Additional attractions were the chance to visit the SS Great Eastern and to see the life-size copy of the Eddystone Lighthouse. Doesn't really tell you fuck all. Exhibitions formed part of the British Empire outside the United Kingdom, included an African village, 50 natives of Indian and Ceylon, camel and elephant rides. It was followed in 1887 by the Royal Jubilee exhibition, also in Liverpool. The Royal Jubilee exhibition in Liverpool was held in Liverpool 1887 on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee of Queen Victoria, on the site of the previous year's international exhibition, now Wavertree Botanic Park. So Wavertree Botanic Park, mate, that's a very, very, very old fucking park, that, you know. That must be one of the oldest parks in our city. I wonder what's underneath that. I wonder what's underneath that fucking Botanic Park in Wavertree, like that. Let's just see this. When was Liverpool created? What was we called before Liverpool? Is it alright, people? No, we've gone a bit sideways here, haven't we? Turned into historians. That's what we're being now, you know, historians. On August the 28th, 1207, King John signed the letters patent that created the borough of Liverpool. The letters invited settlers to move to the newly laid out 7 streets of the new town. So Liverpool was 7 streets. What streets do you reckon he was? Daisyfield streets, do you think? You know, the ones in the South End? Dead old streets. What? You remember Bread? The Scouts fucking thing, Bread. Used to do the filming in them streets. Do you reckon they were the first streets in the city? So 1207, and we're in now 2025. So our city really is about 800 years old, you know, isn't it? Liverpool is a maritime city in northwest England where the River Mersey meets the Irish Sea, a key trade and migration port from the 18th to the early 20th centuries. It's also famously the hometown of the Beatles, Darren G, and the ferries that cruise across the water. Didn't expect my name to get mentioned in there like that. Where the iconic mercantile buildings known as the Three Graces, Royal Liver Building, Cunard Building and the Port of Liverpool Building stand on the pier head. Population, 500,000. Age, 818 years. That's how old our city is. When was it founded? 1207. The area spans 134.7 kilometres square. The elevation, the highest part, 70 metres. That's the view. From water level, 70 metres is the highest point in Liverpool, and that's the view. You know Everton Brow? You know Everton Brow in Liverpool? That's the highest point in the city. Administrative HQ, the Cunard building. So what you've got in the Liver buildings, you know the Liver buildings? The public could used to go in there and have a tour round. What they've done now though is, when they've regenerated the Albert Dock about 10-20 years ago, on the Albert Dock 20 years ago, you had a restaurant smack bang in the middle of the pierhead. You had this restaurant, and what they done to that restaurant later was made it into a communication headquarters. So they shut the restaurant down and just covered all the windows in mirror effect glass, and it just turned in, and then that building there was dedicated to electronic communication in Liverpool. What they've done then, they've acquired the Liver buildings. So what they've done is shut that communication block down. I think it's made into a restaurant and something else now, and put everyone that worked in it, including all the Crown Prosecution Service for the North West, all now work out of the Liver building on the 3rd floor. So if you look at the Liver building on the 3rd floor, you see it mirrored off. All the biggest, naughtiest law and order agents exist on that floor. All your murder investigations, all your terrorist investigations, all paperwork is in these offices on that floor. Everything's used in crazy conspiracies, bam, on that 3rd floor. Trust me, lad. I know. How do you know? Because I've purposely intended to find out this shit. That's why I know. You won't have a fucking idea why I want to know that. Will you? You see, I'm the type of kid that sits there thinking to myself, how the fuck has that judge managed to work in this city for 25 years and life off 30 or 40 scousers and not be fucking touched? How's he managed that? How is that judge slamming everyone with 40s for the last 40 years in this city and no one said boo to them? No one. Why? You know, I question this shit. How the fuck can them 3 judges keep on giving our boys 35 wrecks and nothing's happening to them? So me, okay, let's locate these pricks. Where did he work? Where did he go and put the coat in the locker room? Where did he go and have the lunch? So while you're watching that drug dealer because he's got a good watch on, I'm watching that prosecutor and that fucking judge. Why? Because they dished out 1,000 G's to our fucking men like it's fucking confetti and no one's chatting shit to them about it. That's why. Think about it, mate. Look at the prosecutions. Look at them prosecution baraters. Waltzing up, getting that 22-year-old at 35 rec, fucking off, coming back a week later, getting my man at 25, fucking off, coming back a week later, getting him at 30. Because what they done in Liverpool years ago, The way you used to work with organised crime was this. If you were a gangster, you got nicked, you'd get whatever barrister you wanted. And they just get the prosecutor they wanted. What they done to combat organised crime in the city of Liverpool, they designated 3 main prosecution barristers and King's Counsels to deal with all organised crime groups. So you'll have Andrew Edis, you'll have Nigel Power, and you'll have another cunt down there somewhere. And them 3 will be the go-to barristers who prosecute your kid for murder, who prosecute your kid for any organised crime. These 3 barristers for the last 20 years have been slamming pure kids, totaling thousands of years, and no one's doing fuck all to them. They just come out of work, take the wig off, get in the big £100,000 car and fuck off to the mansion without a worry in the fucking world. I know kids deserve to get lifed off, don't they? But the same judges will let that nonce walk and give that kid a 10 for screaming at him. Anyway, when you get onto that page, the authorities feel very fucking threatened. When they hear me speaking like this, they know. Get your priorities fucking straight. You're killing each other, not your brothers, your sisters. I'm gonna go and ring my bird. Well, not my bird. My baby's mum. Well, I'm gonna go and ring my baby. She's going out of school, isn't she? I'm starting to talk a lot of fucking madness as well, so I think it should just come off. It's not erratic madness. You know, when I'm talking this isn't just some lunatic chatting shit. I've been on this page for years. I just haven't got the unit to make it happen yet. Do you understand? You can't really do fuck all by yourself when you're taking on the system. I could try, but it'll fail. You need a unit who's game, willing to risk the fucking life, willing to lose it, basically. Yes, Nat, you are looking at a homegrown fucking militant. And I can't stand the establishment that control us. And if I end up with the means and the possibilities of taking these coming down, trust me, I will.